Maybe the light should be on. Genius, Click. You're so smart sometimes. Oh, wow. That looks great.
Psst, disclaimer.
One husband. Two husbands. Three husbands. Four husbands. Five husbands. Six husbands. Oh, hello there. Good evening, laddies, lasses, and lassos, and welcome to the Click. You smell absolutely astounding today, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. What are you doing there, Click, you might ask? I'm just planning for my wedding. Plural. So anyway, on a stream recently, we went through some beautiful Bridezilla stories. And what is a Bridezilla, you might ask? Well, as this picture right here represents, a Bridezilla is someone that goes absolutely nuts in the context of a wedding. And this typically escalates to the point where it blows up entire family units, or separates lifelong friends, or make you enemies with your very own parents. Isn't that beautiful? So since we're all getting a bit old, I figured we would read some beautiful Bridezilla stories and get our own drama fix without having to be involved in it ourselves, because man, some of these stories are juicy. Enjoy. Mwah. Oh yeah, and also remember to check out my streams where we do this live, so you can sit in the chat and be as flabbergasted as me together. It's a very wholesome experience. So in this first story, we're getting some text messages from the Bridezilla to her friend.
So, with my wedding, were you still coming? Because I was thinking maybe you shouldn't. I don't mean to be harsh, but I thought you'd be over what happened by now. But you cried today just because some lady had a baby? It's just a bit dramatic, and lots of people don't know yet because apparently you aren't ready to tell people. I think if you don't tell people, you shouldn't come. I'm trying to be as nice about this as I can, but everyone will be asking why you aren't pregnant, and I don't want them distracted from making me feel special. What happened sucks, but I thought you had long enough to get over it, so it wouldn't be a problem. Maybe you could announce it on Facebook so people know?
Okay. I need a minute to process what the fuck you just said to me.
Don't take it the wrong way. You know I am right, and you just need to move on. I want my wedding to be about me. I don't want it ruined by you. No offense.
Wait a second, let me see if I'm understanding the story correctly. So the person in blue, right, the person responding to the text, lost their baby, and they're still kind of getting over that, and they're no longer pregnant. Obviously. And this Bridezilla is can you announce that you lost your baby on Facebook so you can get over this before my wedding because I'm the main character? Holy shit, man.
Girl, you're getting married, not giving up basic empathy. What the fuck?
I want my wedding to be about me. I don't want it ruined by you. No offense. You would do the same. If you don't want to announce it, then just come.
Okay, wait a second. So their entire invitation is pending on the fact that they will have to make a Facebook announcement about them losing their baby. And also, what do you mean you would do the same? I am willing to bet a large amount of plushies that you would absolutely lose your shite if someone did the same thing to you. And rightfully so. So let me get this straight. You don't want me at your wedding because the fact that my baby died might ruin your day! I just want to make sure I have this right. Because if that's what you're saying, then it's just super fricked up, dude. As in, don't worry about me being at the wedding because we won't be friends. So I want to make sure I understand.
I mean, that's not how I said it.
Okay. So what did I get wrong?
You're twisting my words. I just want to be the most important person on the day, unlike your dead baby. And if people say you're not pregnant, they will ask.
Oh, God forbid people mingle at a wedding and ask each other questions. Do you think everyone is just gonna sit in silence when they're not talking to you or watching the ceremony? Every wedding I've been to, people usually socialize with a lot of people. What do you mean? That doesn't mean it's not your day. Are you insane? And also, I would imagine that most people who are at least half decent would probably dodge that sort of question. When they see someone they know used to be pregnant, they haven't reached the due date yet or whatever, and there is no baby to be seen, you would probably be a bit careful around those topics. At least I would hope so.
And if people say you're not pregnant, they will ask. And then it will take the attention off of me. Oh my God, imagine if people talk about stuff at my wedding that isn't me. I just thought you could announce it now, so by the wedding no one will talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. Like, this whole thing is incredibly unhinged to begin with. But am I the only one who's kind of picking up on the fact that if they make a huge announcement on Facebook for everyone to see before the wedding, like, hey, a baby died, don't you think that would cause more people to ask? And literally, like, every single person would want to come up to them and offer their condolences. Like, you would make it an even bigger deal, which obviously this person is not ready for in the first place. Like, it would be bad for everyone. Like, Jesus, oh my God, man.
I don't think it's such a hard thing to do.
Wow. Well, best friend forever, huh? You know what? You enjoy your wedding without me. I hope our friendship is worth all the attention you so desperately need. You giant trash pile of a human.
You're being silly, but okay. You see, losing children is just like one of those silly things. It's like a Monday thing. Like, what is so wrong with wanting to make sure my day is about me? If you think that we can't be friends because I want to be the most important person on the day and don't want people thinking about you, then I guess we can't be friends. But you're being really selfish. It's 2 months. How much time do you really need?
People usually need more than 2 months to, like, get over a teenage crush, okay? 2 months is like nothing. What do you mean? Usually, what people say is that when you've lost someone, or for example, gotten a divorce or anything like this, the first year is the most difficult, because that's when you go through all, like, the birthdays and Christmases and all that kind of jazz all by yourself. Is a huge change, right? 2 months is, like, not that much time to get over something, especially something this traumatic. Like, damn. You don't know humans, do you?
It's not like you knew her.
You did not just minimize your best friend losing a baby for your special day. Man, yeah, your day is surely gonna be very special. You're gonna be very lonely afterwards.
And I just don't want the focus to be on you. So I think you announcing it is fair. That way everyone focuses on you now and not later on my day.
Yeah, we're done. Holy shit, I cannot believe you. You think I give a fuck about attention on me? She was my baby. How dare you? Seriously, glad I found out you were trash now, so I don't have to waste any more time speaking to you. Tell Blorp I will see him at the divorce party. Honestly, if this was me, I would just send all these text messages to the husband. I would blow it up as pettily as possible, and it's probably doing him a favor too. Like, hey, do you actually know who you're marrying? He would probably want to know.
Yes, every ring on your finger means a little bit less empathy for the peasants of this world and their stupid children.
Lost my friend because I couldn't afford her wedding, and now karma's coming around. Don't want to bore anyone with the details, but my husband and I went through a financial hardship out of nowhere while I was a bridesmaid of a friend's wedding a few months ago. As we were going through this hardship, the bride wanted a few $100s for bridal events on short notice, and my husband and I had rent to pay. We couldn't pay both on such short notice, and obviously we chose our rent. I tried to explain this to her, but she did not understand, got mad, and she demoted me to a guest over it, claiming I was a horrible friend and should have budgeted. Keep in mind, we have children, and I am a stay-at-home mom. Trust me, we budget. And we haven't spoken since. I couldn't believe such a good friend of mine would be so cold-hearted. But thankfully, happy to say our financial situation is starting to get better. Well, no thanks to her, I suppose. I recently found out her and her about-to-be husband just got laid off at the same time because they both missed so many days of work and kept calling off, and were pretty much not doing their jobs. Is this just instant karma? Oh no! They are in a ton and ton of debt too, and we're about to buy a house. I know she's a bridesmaid in a few weddings as well right now. Maybe she can feel how I had to feel for a little bit. I never wished anything bad for her despite everything, but wow, funny how karma comes around. Yeah, what is that old saying? We're all closer to being homeless than being billionaires. You know, that sort of resonates with this kind of story. Man, that is some instant karma. Oh my god, did they get laid off also because they took too many days off, like for the wedding and after the wedding? That would be like an extra icing on this karma cake. Oh, I'm gonna read this comment under it in like a wise little Gandalf voice.
In a way, it's also good that it happened, because sometimes it takes a long time to realize someone actually isn't your friend, at all, Mr. Baggins. So she did you a favor, being an asshole and allowing her true colors to shine. No more wasting your time. It is nice she gets to feel the other side, but that anyone should need to develop empathy. But as much as I wish karma was real, the truth is most nasty people never get their comeuppance, sadly.
At least for me, I don't really believe in karma as an entity or as a spiritual thing or what have you, but I do believe in karma to a certain extent, that in a social way, because humans are very social, that if you keep treating people poorly, sometimes it will come back to bite you. Not always, because there are also horrifying statistics that if you are, for example, not particularly empathetic, you will even do better in certain businesses and stuff like that, which would explain a lot about why our world looks the way it does. But sometimes it comes around to bite you. Not always. Karma's a little bit 50-50, isn't it? Did you know that today's episode is sponsored by Raycon headphones? With hybrid noise cancellation capable of drowning out the most What? I'm yelling? I couldn't even tell. With hybrid active noise cancellation capable of drowning out the most maddening of sounds, Raycon's everyday headphones are your quieting sidekick for the gym, work, phone calls, offering premium audio that goes where you go. Their latest model is better than ever, with a 40-hour battery life and a comfortable ergonomic design that you will love to wear all day long and beyond. I personally love Raycon's hybrid active noise cancellation when I am on the road, traveling on long trips, and I just want to take a nice nap or just drown out the noise. They are also a great companion at the gym, so you can focus on your pump while listening to the click videos, obviously. They also come with a quick charge function. 15 minutes of charging yields 2 hours of battery life. They are very soft and comfortable. So what are you waiting for? Go to buyraycon.com/theclick25 to get 25% off Raycon's best-selling everyday headphones. Don't miss out. Head to buyraycon.com/theclick25. Thank you so much, Raycon, for sponsoring this video. And now, back to the memes. Mwah.
Hi Shakira, I'm sorry to say we're requesting a refund on the deposit for our wedding. We have done a lot of talking and we cannot bring ourselves to support anyone who is so outspoken on matters that simply do not concern them, as well as someone that does not believe that all lives matter. Oh no! We would be truly embarrassed to have you at our event and feel like you aren't stable enough to complete the job we need from you. You're so hysterical about the things you believe in. Please let me know when and how we can expect our refund, and we are requesting to be relieved from our contract. Thanks.
I am sorry to hear that. Unfortunately, the contract you signed states that your deposit is non-refundable. I mean, that's usually the point of, the deposit itself, I suppose. I will email you a cancellation agreement shortly that will require your signature to forfeit your date. I wish you a lifetime of growth. I wish you a lifetime of growth. That's like the most polite way of telling someone that they're an absolute piece of trash. And I would like to thank you for your donation to Black Lives Matter. Are they donating the deposit to... Oh, that is so sweet. This text message is just... I would frame this.
You will be hearing from our attorney.
Based on what? You signed the damn contract. No attorney is gonna touch this. Oh my god, this is so silly, man.
I don't get why my bridesmaid are pissed at me. I just asked that they pay $300 for a dress, buy a plane ticket, quarantine for 2 weeks at a hotel, get tested, risk their life at my 300-person wedding, and give a long speech about our inside jokes.
This was posted in 2020. Oh, that's a beautiful, beautiful satire. I love this post. Don't you just love those speeches that are like 25 minutes of inside jokes that 3 people in the entire audience laugh at? That is great. You know, target audience and all that kind of stuff goes for weddings too. My future sister-in-law is the reason I am canceling my wedding, and instead doing a destination wedding. Yeah, I usually say that destination weddings can be very fun and beautiful, but it can also be tricky because it's more expensive and more days off and that kind of stuff, so you should expect not everyone to be able to make it, right? But I don't think I've ever heard of anyone doing a destination wedding to specifically avoid a specific person. Oh, this is gonna be juicy. Hi, I am using a fake account because several of my in-laws are aware of my other account. account. So I am F31, and my now husband is M30, and my sister-in-law is F19. My husband does not have the best relationship with the sister due to his parents favoring her, mother-in-law F59 and father-in-law 59. A little background, my husband's parents were having marital issues, and heading for divorce around the time my husband's sister was conceived. When they found out that they were pregnant, they decided to seek counseling and get help. In the end, they resolved their problems and the relationship became stronger. They view their daughter as the reason as they were able to save their marriage. Ooh, yeah, I can see that creating a bit of like sibling bias. Oh my.
So she's like a miracle baby, but in a different way.
She is spoiled. Some examples. They got her a car for her birthday that she totaled in 4 days. You know, there is this fine balance between giving people things you know they will value versus giving them too much and spoiling them to the point they don't value anything. So they will just destroy things because they don't understand the true value of it, or they haven't worked for anything so they don't value stuff, you know? And this seems to be that sort of case. Like, how do you total a brand new car in 4 days, man? Oh my god. She borrowed her mom's car after and had it totaled too.
I just picture this like a bad skit where she's just running car after car into a brick wall.
Due to her reckless driving, the insurance company will not allow her to be insured under her parents. We were dating at the time when his mother asked my husband if he could please put her on his insurance, and she would pay. She already totaled 2 cars to the point that she can't be insured under her parents. But what about your husband? She can be under his insurance. Are you just gonna burn the entire extended family's insurance on her? My husband at the time was buying a new car and didn't want to deal with this situation and told his mother no. Yeah, that seems like the reasonable thing to do, especially with the track record. Another example was that we had gotten tickets to see Taylor Swift in Europe for a vacation alone. His sister found out and demanded that she go instead of me. Wait a second, so you had planned this trip together with your husband, but your sister is now demanding that your husband replaces his own fiancée with her, but she hasn't even paid for the trip. This is absolutely bonkers, man. I could never imagine coming into a situation and be like,
hey, how about you replace your fiancé with me?
bruh. This is just like a main character in the making, isn't it? His father called and demanded that we change our plan and he takes his sister. My husband said he could not do that because he didn't pay for the vacation or the tickets. My parents did. Oh my god, so this is even a gift from someone else. So her parents paid for them both to take this vacation as like a gift or something like that. And then the other family comes along and be like, nah, you need to take the sister instead. Jesus, you realize that everyone is an adult, right? Like, this is not you lecturing like, oh my god, think about your sister, to like a bunch of 10-year-olds. This is literally people like using their own gifts they got for a vacation and they're like 30 years old. Oh my god. We were harassed for months over this. Finally, 3 months after we were engaged, we visited his parents. At the time, his sister had a friend living with her, and her parents, F17. This friend developed a crush on my husband. Man, this sister is nothing but trouble, is she? You know, I remember a beautiful saying about like miracle babies and all that kind of stuff, and it is that it's your miracle baby. I still don't think you should spoil them rotten to this extent because it will not treat them well later in life, but it's your miracle baby, not the world's miracle baby. This expectation that people should literally cancel their own vacation that someone else has paid for because of your special baby is insane. You need to realize that just because you think that this baby saved your marriage doesn't mean that it saved everyone else's marriage. It's not their miracle baby. They're just living their life. He was extremely uncomfortable with the girl's attention towards him. His sister wanted them to date. How old is he at this point? Like 29, 30, something like that? And the sister's like, hey, you should totally date my 17-year-old friend. His sister wanted them to date and asked his parent to talk about it. He refused and said he was engaged and is not interested in teen girls. What in the actual fuck? Now to the wedding. My in-laws are only attending if I make my sister-in-law a bridesmaid. I agreed to keep the peace and gave it to her as an honorary role and don't expect her to be involved as much as my other bridesmaids. I mean, makes sense, you know, the age difference and stuff. She's literally 10 years younger, even a bit more, and she's not that close. She's complicated. You can't expect her to like pay for things and that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, that makes perfect sense on every logical level. The problem started immediately.
You mean that the sister that wanted your husband to date her teenage friend started trouble? Ooh, totally didn't see that coming. First, she was flirting with another bridesmaid's boyfriend and sending him inappropriate text. We don't know how she got the number. She refused to walk with her cousin, who is a groomsman, and tried to get her parents involved to switch to walk next to the best man and bump my maid of honor. Wait, what? She's trying to claim the maid of honor? Oh, no. No. Her reason was because she couldn't hook up with her cousin. The best man is currently in a long-term relationship with the maid of honor, and that's how they met. Oh my god, so not only is she trying to like outcompete the maid of honor and steal her spotlight, she's also trying to hook up with the best man who's together with the maid of honor. Man, and she even said this confidently out loud. I can't hook up with my cousin. Yeehaw, sweet Alabama. The final straw was with what she did to my maid of honor. My maid of honor is my cousin and my best friend. My maid of honor is the same age as me. We are born 3 months apart to the day. We get mistaken as sister, and sometimes our extended family mixes us up. Our moms are sisters. I am protective of my maid of honor and the godmother to her children. My maid of honor is hard of hearing and has to wear hearing aids due to an infection she had as a child. My maid of honor sometimes talks loud because she can't hear and judge her own volume. She doesn't have any accent, she has to do speech therapy for years, and as a child had to attend school for children with hearing disabilities until middle school. My sister-in-law has been teasing my maid of honor non-stop, yelling and saying I just wanted to make sure she heard me. Okay, so she wants to basically get your husband to date her teenage friends, even though the husband is like 30 years old, and genuinely pushes for this. She's trying to hook up with the best man at your wedding, despite the age gap and despite the best man being together with the maid of honor while trying to like on the maid of honor. So now she takes it to the next step and tries to bully the maid of honor actively because she can't hook up with the maid of honor's fiancé. I can see why you would plan the entire wedding as a destination wedding so this specific sister couldn't come. Oh my god, what an insufferable piece of poo-poo. She made references to my godchildren being born out of wedlock and said her boyfriend, the best man and the father of her children, will come to his senses and find a tight woman. Oh my god, she sounds like a red pillar. My maid of honor has been quiet about all this because she doesn't want to cause problems for me and my in-laws. I found out because my other bridesmaids told me after the bridal shower. At the bridal shower, my husband and myself both were aware and gave our blessings to have his best man propose to my cousin, the maid of honor. That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. You see, this is how you do it, and everything is synced. Everyone is happy with it, and the proposal, and it's a beautiful day for everyone. This is great. This is great. It happened, and everyone was excited. Except for my sister-in-law. The final straw was when my maid of honor was heading back to the table. She took out her hearing aids because the music was causing her a headache. The hearing aids were in a glass of water with my sister-in-law laughing. Oh, okay, I didn't get it. Okay, so the sister-in-law, no one saw her, but she probably put the hearing aid in a glass of water, right? Because it's a piece of electronic and it's gonna break. So she was like, oops, it's in the water. Sucks to be you. She's such a bully. She never aged past the age of 10. Apart from the trying to get her teenage friends to get picked up by her 30-year-old brother, I suppose. But aside from that, I was done and removed her from the wedding party and disinvited her from the wedding unless she is in therapy. Yeah, that's probably good, yeah, when you're literally destroying other people's like hearing aid and stuff for like a laugh at a wedding party, you should probably be kicked out. My in-laws were blowing up our phones, saying that their daughter was only joking around and that's her sense of humor. Oh my god, they literally sound like middle school bullies. Oh my god, they don't like you. It's just a sense of humor. Why are you taking it so seriously? You snowflake. You remember what I said about like your miracle child isn't the world's miracle child? This is exactly that. Maybe it's a joke to her. I doubt it. This sounds like very purposeful bullying and jealousy and like weird power plays and all kinds of BS. But even if I were to humor that logic for a bit, that doesn't matter that anyone else wants to put up with it. Even if this sister-in-law sees this as just a joke, that doesn't mean that anyone else is gonna put up with it. You know, they're adults there to enjoy a wedding. They're not gonna deal with this. Are you kidding me?
saying that their daughter was only joking around and that's her sense of humor. And my maid of honor can't take a joke. Yeah, like having your hearing aid destroyed. You know, that favorite joke between besties. What a classic. They said if she cannot come to the wedding, they will not come. Good f***ing riddance. The trash is just taking itself out. Man, that's convenient. This has been going on for months. A few updates. 24 hours later, from the bridal shower, I call my fiancé. My husband, because we are technically legally married now. We just didn't have a ceremony yet. This was done earlier in the year for insurance issues. I mean, that's pretty common, to be honest. I know a lot of people that have gone to the city hall to sign all the papers and get the legal stuff done, and then they have a ceremony separately. Number 2. My maid of honor, my cousin, was able to get her hearing aids replaced by her audiologist. She had them insured. My husband covered the deductible, not for his sister's sake, but because he cares for my cousin and is embarrassed. That is really sweet, though. I hope the maid of honor is doing fine. She did not deserve this BS. My husband's family is on our side. Apparently, we have been flooded with phone calls and messages of support from his family. Hell yeah, that is beautiful. I love that kind of stuff when people step up in these sort of situations because it makes the people stuck in the middle, this couple in this instance, feel less insane. If you know that other people are on your side, you're much less likely to fall for the toxic group pressure of, the other parents supporting the spoiled sister-in-law. So show your support. It really helps in situations like this. The reason why is because they also have stories of how badly my sister-in-law has acted towards them. My husband has already said that my family is his and anyone who mistreats anyone I care about is not his people. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good rule for family or otherwise. We have decided, with the help of our wedding planner, to do a destination wedding, pushing the wedding date back 6 months in Hawaii. We got most of our deposits back. Family is helping with the rest. My husband has called his parents and told them they are not invited, and his sister will not be invited. They are livid and have started as of an hour ago going to social media to tell their side of the story. They claim that their daughter was just making jokes and pranks. Nobody has been buying it. Oh, man, I would love to read those posts and comments. That would be so beautiful. I mean, I imagine they're a bit too personal to show on YouTube and that sort of stuff, but still, oh, that would be absolute gold. They tried to contact my parents, who shut them down immediately. We have had other family members who also are hard of hearing or deaf due to a genetic conditions that runs in the family. Most of the family is hearing, but everyone looks out for the members that are not. They are embarrassed and hung up the phone. Some small updates. We are no contact with my husband's parents and sister. This is what I mean. People pushing it so hard via weddings that entire families blow up. Good riddance, I would say. Absolutely good riddance. We get updates from my husband's aunt, his father's sisters. First, my maid of honor hearing aids are replaced after talking with her and asking what she wants to do. She doesn't want to be involved in a lawsuit or anything going forward, as long as she is left alone by my husband's sister. She doesn't want any negative energy in her life. I am going to respect her boundaries on this matter. However, if anything happens, she will file a restraining order against my husband's sister. As for my mother-in-law and father-in-law, as per my husband's aunt, they are in a bind. They came crying to my husband's aunt. Apparently their insurance company found out they were letting their daughter drive their cars. Ooh, the karma. We're talking about how karma isn't real, but sometimes maybe it is. Oh my god, there is hope in this universe. Even though they were warned she would not be insured under their policy, and the insurance company dropped them. We don't know if sister-in-law got into another accident or someone reported this to the insurance company. However, they were sobbing to my husband's aunt. They are struggling to find an insurance policy they can afford. Oh my god, no, what is that? Is it karma? I f***ed around and find out? Oh my god, I just want to f*** around and not find out? Is that too much to ask? My husband's aunt was tired of hearing the sob stories and brought up the bridal shower incident and how her own daughter has been bullied by the sister-in-law. She was embarrassed for her nephew, my husband. My mother-in-law and father-in-law said that sister-in-law confessed she was jealous of my maid of honor's relationship with the best man. I called it. She's just like a little bully, going around causing troubles and being jealous and being super spoiled and entitled. She started bullying the maid of honor because she, the sister-in-law, couldn't hook up with the best man. This is insanity. How would you ever keep a person like this close? She apparently had a long crush on him. Oh, so her little dream scenario that she cooked up was her 17-year-old friend was supposed to be together with her brother, who's like 30, and she was supposed to be together with the best man. So that's how the whole story fits together. and was upset that he was getting engaged to maid of honor. Mother-in-law and father-in-law tried to excuse this behavior as a teenager girl acting out, but she was like 19 though. You know, she's way too old to be acting like this. You know, it's one thing if it was like, you know, a 13-year-old having some kind of weird crush and like storming off and being a bit dramatic. They're 19, okay? They're almost 20 years old. They're an adult, you know, they're old enough to live on their own, do their own thing. They're old enough to like get married and have kids if they wanted to, you know, all that kind of jazz. They shouldn't be acting like this, and they shouldn't be destroying people's hearing aids because they're jealous. Oh my god. My husband's aunt was having none of it, and told them they ruined their daughter and probably ruined their relationship with my husband and any future with us. My husband's aunt asked them to leave and said she hopes they get everything they deserve for how they treat their children. She was not going to help them with their insurance problems. Man, the aunt is a real MVP. God damn. My husband's cousin, 20-year-old and a lovely girl, she's a beauty queen and a makeup artist. My husband's sister was known for breaking her makeup palettes and beauty supplies out of jealousy. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, this isn't like a singular thing. Like, she was so jealous of specifically the maid of honor. She's jealous of everyone and acts out towards everyone. Oh, she bullies the maid of honor and destroys her hearing aid because she's jealous of not being able to hook up with the best man. Oh, she's jealous of like the good looks or the makeup skills of this like cousin. Oh, then she breaks all her supplies. She can't have her own insurance, so she totals other people's cars. And the parents are endorsing this. That's insane. The parents suck in this instance. Like, don't get me wrong, the daughter is definitely old enough and should know better, but the parents have totally destroyed this child. They have spoiled her rotten for almost 20 years of life, and now come the consequences when she's an actual adult. Isn't that just beautiful? My husband's aunt doesn't allow my sister-in-law over to the house and will lock the doors to certain rooms in her house during family gatherings because several incidents in the past. So she will just sneak away from family dinner to destroy things she's jealous of. Yeah, how would you ever be able to let the person in like this closer into your house ever again? I certainly wouldn't. And now for the sister-in-law. She still lives with my in-laws. She lost her job, nobody knows why. Maybe she totaled a couple of cars, or like, I don't know, tried to hook up with the boss's wife and destroyed their hearing aids, you know, that's probably why. And frankly, I don't care to know. She is not in college due to poor grades and lack of direction. She blames me for her family not talking to her and being kicked out of the wedding party, and I am proud I did, so she can blame me as much as she likes. As for our wedding celebration, we're doing a small ceremony on the beach, and any family that wishes to come can book a hotel on the main island. That sounds beautiful. I like that. It's like small, low pressure, and people can like do the wedding thing and like a vacation trip, you know, with one in one. That's very nice. I like that. We are not going to give the location of the wedding or the reception until the day of the wedding, except for the wedding party. And we will hire security. I will update you when that happens or anything else happens. That is the last update. That's the beautiful part with finding stories like this a little while after they happened. It's like finding a really good series on Netflix when all the episodes are already out. You don't have to wait a week for every update. Oh, it's so satisfying. I would feel kinda bad for the sister-in-law for her parents maladapting her so much to life if she wasn't such an obvious pile of poo-poo. Like, when someone is this old, you can only have that much empathy for them because they should know better. Don't get me wrong, the parents completely messed up and they completely raised her wrong and spoiled her rotten to the point she can't function around normal people. But man, I have a hard time feeling bad for any of them because they're all poo-poos, absolute poo-poos. My closest cousin, the closest thing I have to a sibling, has officially confirmed I won't be her maid of honor because I am just too fat for a maid of honor role. Have to lose some weight before December or no maid of honor duties for me. I shan't be attending the wedding. Okay, if you care so much about aesthetics for your wedding, why do you even have any of your friends in the pictures? Just hire a bunch of fucking Vogue models, you know, for the photo shoot. Oh my god, I have these memorable pictures from my wedding. The people in them, I don't even fucking know them. It's just models for the aesthetic. Isn't it supposed to be photos with like people you love and stuff like that? Do you care more about like aesthetics of your photos that you're gonna post to Facebook instead of having like pictures you'll actually value and remember in 10 years? People are insane, man. How do you prioritize aesthetics over your own friends and family? Oh my god. Bridezilla ruined our friendship of 20 plus years. Long post. Right so, best friend of many years got engaged. Immediately asked me to be a bridesmaid. Was thrilled for about 0.2 seconds until she said, "Ahaha, now I get to make you dress girly." Her list of requirements included dress, heels, I had to grow my hair to at least bob length, had to dye my hair, had to get a tan, fake or sunbed, and definitely had to use body makeup to cover all my tattoos. At this point, I would just turn it down, honestly. We're getting right into this again like the last post. Aesthetic matters more than actually being in pictures with your loved ones. Holy shit. Now, readers, this was a gut-wrencher. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm an absolute tomboy who feels deeply uncomfortable wearing dresses, etc. But hey, it's the bride's big day, right? I offered to do all except grow my hair.
Not good enough. Apparently, I would ruin her photos with my crap short hair.
Arguments started, texts and group chat aplenty telling me I was being stubborn and it's for one day and I should suck it up. But it's not for one day though. Like growing out your hair is gonna take like a year. You know, what do you mean? And growing it to doesn't, like this length of hair, doesn't this take like 2 years to grow out? What do you mean it's only for a day? It's gonna be 2 years! Or like, I don't know, get a wig. I mean, I wouldn't, just because I'm stubborn, and if someone told me like, hey, you need to change this and this and that and literally not be yourself for a photo, I would just decline the photo shoot and decline the role to begin with, because then it doesn't feel genuine anymore. Then it feels like it's an aesthetic rather than actually being in memorable pictures with your loved ones for their special day, you know? It completely ruins the point. But yeah, I suppose like for some people more compromisable than me, maybe a wig. But no, it's not just a day. Are you insane? Growing out this hair takes 2 years. Back and forth for a while, but around that time my dad was diagnosed with a terminal illness. We mutually agreed that my dad was my priority and I stepped down from bridesmaid to guest. She asked me what me and my girlfriend would be wearing. I replied that we had tailor-made suits from a wedding last year and they would be perfect. She told me she didn't want everyone
staring at the two lesbians in suits and that everyone would be talking about us and taking attention away from her.
Ah, yes, indeed. Everyone will be looking at the lesbians. Look at the zoo animals. Look at they're wearing pants. Dear God, they're wearing pants. That's the most interesting thing in this entire fucking wedding. If that's the most interesting thing in the entire fucking wedding, then your wedding really fucking sucks. Oh my God. People, I was gobsmacked. Girlfriend refused to even go. I told the bride unless she was telling all the guests what to wear, she could right off. Yeah, she's just like ragingly homophobic, man. Dear God. I went to the wedding. Didn't want to be the a-hole who didn't show up, to be honest. It went swimmingly. An absolutely grand affair with no expense spared. I left after the first dance to go home to my kid. Had been there for 8 hours at this point, and was told the next day by the end of the party the bride was sobbing that I left early and ruined her day. She's such a weirdly obsessive main character. Are you kidding? The person has a child. Of course they're not gonna stay up until 3 a.m. and party. She also texted me to tell me the money I had gifted her was nowhere near the cost of hosting me. Sucks to suck, so we don't talk anymore. Update, I am getting married. My fiancé proposed last week. We're both gonna wear suits and Bridezilla ain't invited. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. This is not a friend of yours. This is not a friend of yours. They're prioritizing an aesthetic above like their actual friends and loved ones for photos, which means it's fake and not actually real. They're all about aesthetics, which you can be about aesthetics, but it's a very strange compromise to make. They're also ragingly homophobic. They're trying to pretend like, oh my God, everyone will look at you. You're heckin' zoo animal wearing pants, but you're a girl. I have been to plenty of weddings at this point, right? Because I'm an old fart. I'm not that old, all of you sitting at home being like, click, stop saying you're old. But anyway, and there has been plenty of people that wear like mixed up outfits and that kind of stuff, you know, non-traditional outfits, if you will. You want to know how many people give a shit? No one! No one gives a shit! It's a wedding! People are there to have fun! No one cares! Couplezilla story. My husband was asked to be the best man at his friend's wedding. The couple decided to not get married for 2 years, so they had time to plan their dream wedding and save for their honeymoon to an expensive location. That's cool, to each their own. The planning process was a nightmare. Several friends have dropped from even attending the wedding due to the bride's awful attitude and the groom's sense of entitlement. About 6 months before the wedding, the groom asked my husband about the bachelor party. My husband told the groom that he and the other groomsmen would get a limo and do a bar crawl with some adult entertainment at a great spot close to home. The groom said nothing. Oh, were they expecting like an all-exclusive around-the-world trip for their little bachelor party? That should cost at least $10 billion. The following day, the bride sent a group text to all the groomsmen, ripping them a new arsehole, that they're frickin' useless, and she can't believe she's doing their their job for them. She said that they have had 2 years to plan and save, and the bachelor party needed to consist of at least a 3-day weekend in Vegas, renting a suite at Caesar's Palace, and treating the groom like a king and footing the entire bill. I should note, The Hangover was a really popular movie at the time. Oh my god, are you planning your entire wedding and parties around movies? Nah. The last bachelor party that myself and a few friends planned for another friend, we rented a cabin in the woods in Sweden, brought a bunch of combat archery equipment, like, you know, the compound bows with like soft arrows. It's like paintball, but with bows and arrows. And we had a ton of good food and booze and a sauna by the water, and we spent like a day and an evening there playing combat archery. We had throwing axes, like a very Viking little weekend, kind of. The budget was like, I don't know, maybe $1,000 total for like 10 people and food and booze. And, you know, we had a lot of equipment we brought ourselves, we didn't have to buy it. And it was like a super memorable, amazing day. Like, a lot of fun things in life aren't that expensive, or at least you can budget. I will never understand this attitude of like spending money for the sake of spending. It is okay to splurge sometimes. Like, if you can afford it and you want, for example, a fancy destination wedding, then go for it. Like, that's perfectly fine. But I think if your logic is that I want a destination wedding because it's expensive, then I think the priorities are just off. Spending for the sake of spending is weird. My husband texted a bride outside of the group text and told her that some life issues had come up and we couldn't afford an extravagant weekend in Vegas. But the bar crawl would be great and the groom would surely have a good time. I mean, being driven around in a limo for a bar crawl sounds like a really fun bachelor party, I'm not gonna lie.
Not good enough. She texted paragraphs about our money problems were not her problem, and if he couldn't do this, we would find another best man who would. Oh yes, indeed, we're gonna pick a best man who's not a broke beta cuck.
My husband, never one to hold his tongue, let alone have a filter, said to her, "Why would I spend all this money? You'll be divorced in 2 years." Honestly, at this point, valid clapback. He was Jazzy Jeffed out of the wedding party and we were uninvited. A boo-hoo. The groom ended up having 2 bachelor parties. One in Vegas, the other in Montreal, with 2 people in attendance at each. Yeah, that's typically the result. When you start prioritizing spending for the sake of spending or aesthetics above friends, then a lot of people aren't gonna want to show up. That's the truth of it. And the 2 people that want to show up are like, oh yeah, Vegas sounds fun. I have some money to spare, why not? But like, that's not how you create fond memories with friends. Like, come on, man. The happy couple filed for divorce 23 months after they were married. Ooh, they didn't even last a full 2 years. Oh my god, you beat the bet by a month. Congratulations. Subject: I want my fiancé to get rid of his 4-year-old daughter. Hi, I need some advice from the mommies on your page. My fiancé has a 4-year-old daughter. Her mother passed away when she was born. He's been raising her on his own ever since he lost his wife. I am now in the picture and we are set to be married in 2022. I'm also 7 months pregnant with a precious little girl. I am not the stepmother type.
Then why the did you choose to marry someone who has a child? That comes with the territory. Are you kidding me?
And I know I won't treat his daughter the same way I will treat our child. Then leave. Leave now. Save them both the heartache. To be quite honest, she gets on my damn nerves. Leave! Leave! You knew he had a child. What? For one, the little girl looks just like her mother, and having her around constantly reminds my fiancé of his dead wife. Are you seriously jealous of a dead person? Is that where this have gone? All right. Second, she is very attached to her daddy, and I'm afraid this is going to take away from my child's bond with her father. I mean, it's her only parent, because I don't think you're acting much like a parent, to be honest. If you stepped up more, I think you would experience her like being less clingy towards one person, because, oh my god, now she suddenly has 2 parents, you know? So maybe the problem is you not stepping up as a parent? Maybe that's it? I basically want to tell my fiancé to get rid of her. What do you mean? She can live with her grandparents, or we can find her a nice family that's looking to adopt a child. Leave, please. Oh my god, why do these awful people always find someone that already has a child? And they're like, I'm not the stepmother type, then don't get together with someone that has a child. I don't know how to approach the situation, but I need to find a way to convince my fiancé to let her go. I promise I'm not a bad person.
This is... This is like the step-parent equivalent of saying like, I'm not racist, but proceeds to say the most unhinged racist ever. It's exactly that, but like step-parenting.
I'm just trying to look out for my child and make sure she receives all her daddy's attention without having her older sister intervene. Please help. You're insane. You're insane. A normal person will be like, oh wow, we can be an entire happy family, and the little sister will also have an older sister to like be there for her and play with and you know support her and protect her and all that kind of stuff. You know, a normal person would see this as a huge win for everyone. This is beautiful. But you're like, no, I'm jealous of a dead person, and also all the attention needs to be on my unborn child instead of the child I literally agreed to be a parent for. But I'm not a bad person. Oh, we were also reading some Bridezilla stories on a stream the other day. I'll leave the link down below, but it was really funny. We were reading a story about like a coworker who was a nurse that was asked by another coworker to be like the man of honor, and he was like a super wild rabbit hole. I would totally recommend checking it out, link in the description, and keep a lookout for the future streams. Hell yeah. Roll the clip! Here we go with that line all you loved the first time. Why in the ever-loving fresh crappy hell is it so important for me to be your man of honor? I am not interested and I'm not doing it. It is exactly as pretty much as all of you told me it would be. She was just planning on using me as a token or a play toy. She took all the f***ed up gay stereotypes that are out in society and put them into one sentence. What modern liberal woman isn't going to have a gay bestie on her arm for special events? Ooh. Is that better or worse than a cult? I was rooting for the cult. Wedding. Y'all, I don't know what to do. My sister is legitimately so pissed at me right now. I got my color swatches in, and I fell in love with the dusty rose. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a pretty classic wedding color. Now my sister is saying she doesn't want to be in my wedding, because that's the wedding color she has picked out since forever. While I want to be sympathetic, she's not even engaged! How would you guys handle this? Okay, how do I say this as gently as possible? People don't own basic colors. And the fact that someone else uses a very mainstream color scheme for their wedding shouldn't mean that you can't use it either. If anything, it just means that, hey, you picked a good color that a lot of people like. Being insecure about a color is wild.
Help, I need advice. My fiance and I are having lots of issues right now. We can't stop fighting and I don't know what to do. I quit my job because wedding planning was taking up so much time and my fiance is refusing to get a second job.
You quit your job to plan your wedding. Okay, you know there is a life after the wedding too. Like, this isn't the final do-all end-all of your life. What happens when the wedding is over? Are you just gonna keep being unemployed, or are you gonna start looking for a new job, or are you gonna come crawling back to your old job? Now the wedding is over, I want my job back. What? He doesn't understand that I don't have time to get ready for work, drive to work, be somewhere else all day, and drive home. I need to be home to plan this wedding. Then maybe just have a simpler wedding.
I'm trying to find a job from home, but it's difficult. I asked him to get a second job, and he won't. It really pisses me off because we're spending $80,000. What? On this wedding, and he keeps saying that we should spend less. Hello, no, this is my wedding. I've been dreaming of this since I was a little girl, and I refuse to have anything but my dream wedding. How can I convince him to work a second job to pay for this? What happened to happy wife, happy life?
Okay, but what's gonna happen after the wedding though? When you're $80,000 in debt, your husband is burnt out because he's been working 2 jobs, and you're unemployed and your old job won't take you back because you quit randomly to plan a wedding. What happens then? Huh? Is that happy life, happy wife?
This is insane. I am getting married in 4 months. One of the bridesmaids have put on a fuckload of weight since I've asked her. How do I tell her nicely that she needs to take a few runs around the block daily? I don't want a fat heifer to ruin my wedding photos. I'm so pissed off. They know how much this wedding means to me and she just doesn't give a fuck. You see, her body is actually about me. Her body is about my wedding because everything revolves around me. I am the main...
Man, the Venn diagram between like main characters and Bridezilla is just a fucking circle, isn't it? Dear God, man. I love how they also very confidently posted this publicly on Facebook, and they have 356 reactions. Most of them are angry. They really thought people would support them with this. Oh man. r/Sims4. This sim just showed up uninvited to my Sims wedding, wearing A wedding dress! Look at this Bridezilla! What? It's even in games! Disgusting! It's spreading to the virtual world. You know, when we said, like, oh my god, virtual reality won't have any Bridezillas. You know that famous old quote from the Bible? You were mistaken, Jesus. Ah, wasn't that absolutely beautiful? I do hope you enjoyed this wonderful little drama video without splurging ourselves into drama too much. That's how you consume drama in this modern age. Watch other people go through drama while sitting at home, marinating in your own filth, drinking coffee. Ah, isn't this a beautiful job? Have an amazing day, night time. I'll see you in the very next video. Have a beautiful day because you do deserve it, and mwah.